Thanks for joining. This is Carol with the STS. This is the Adult Cardiac Surgery Database User Group call for November 16th. You'll see this on every slide. Harvest 4 was extended to December 2nd. We just made that decision. Marketing is working on sending notification and updating the harvest page. Next, there we go. So on the call with me today from STS, I have my fearless friend Leanne, my fearless friend Melanie, and my fearless friend Sydney, and Jean and Joe and Melanie from IQVIA. I'll have some STS important dates, and then IQVIA updates in this month. For November education, Melinda's going to teach us more about ECMOs, and then Q&A. So November 7th, the Harvest 3 reports were released. We're at November 16th, our user group call. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this AQO registration reopening until January 1st. That will occur on November 18th. Harvest 4 closes on December 2nd. That date's been moved from November 18th to December 2nd, so it is extended. Hopefully everybody's got all their stuff in and cleaned up. A vendor was having an issue, so we're not always able to accommodate these types of requests from vendors, but it impacted quite a few sites, and we wanted to make sure that we had clean data in the analysis, and we were able to do it. Next, so that is going to occur on December 2nd. Opt-out will be December 6th. December 7th is our monthly webinar. 21st is our user group call, and then talk more about this AQO Hot Topics webinar in early to mid-January. I'm looking at the week of January 9th. And then your deadline to complete evaluations and claim AQO CE credits for your continuing education credits is January 28th. Here are the Harvest 2023 the 2023 harvest dates have been posted. This is being updated now. This is Harvest 4 of 2022. The dates are being updated on the webpage. And then here are the 2023 dates. I'll hold that up for a second just to make sure. I don't know if anybody wants to get a screenshot, but it is on the STS National Database webpage as well. Okay. Harvest 3 is, I says, posted. Harvest 4 close dates moved from 11/18 to 12/2. November training manuals posted. 2023 harvest schedules posted, and then AQO registrations reopening. The price for AQO. So part of AQO for all attendees, the virtual and those in person, is that we are going to have a hot topics. Kind of something new we're going to do this year, just for a little bit more engagement and to give the virtual attendees an opportunity to ask questions from the presentations. We are going to do what's like a hot topics webinar, and it's going to have Melinda and I went through the agenda and went through the Q&A that came in during AQO and picked out the sessions we felt were getting the most noise, the most feedback, the most questions, the presentations that had folks were the most interested in. So we came up with a plan for that. Those who purchased the AQO in person and the virtual pass will be invited to attend. That'll be held on Zoom. We're looking at the week of January 9th. I am going to ask the presenters from the sessions that we've picked to maybe give a 10-minute quick overview of their presentation, and then any kind of commentary they wish to add into that, and then open Q&A. And we'll provide you the sessions that will be included ahead of time, so you can go and make sure you review those presentations, come with your questions, and just a great, hopefully not just networking, but a great educational opportunity for everybody. So that's why we're going to reopen the AQO registration, just in case folks maybe missed registration, are interested in this live type of webinar with the presenters and the surgeon presenters and data manager presenters, to have an opportunity to interact with them and get any additional questions answered that you may have, or even just to learn from questions that other people are asking. So AQO registration will be reopened. I'm looking at probably this Friday is what I've told. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything that we wouldn't be able to open it this Friday. It will stay open to January 1st. So if you are interested in joining that, and you can still get CEs, you can still get your continuing education credits with the virtual pass. You just have to make sure you watch all of the content for the track that you choose to get credit for. And you'll have opportunity to join that Hot Topics webinar. So if you're interested in that, please consider it and join us for those. You'll also have access to the recordings from AQO. We're hoping to have those the recording of the live sessions posted either the end of this week or early next week. So you'll have access for all of those as well. This is just a quick overview about the in-person and virtual pass and what you'll have access to with the virtual pass. And then here's the preliminary hat. I found a heart with a hot heart with fire. Preliminary Hot Topics webinar. We'll have inviting Dr. Joe Bavaria to come back and review the TVT data that he presented. That was a very interesting presentation with a lot of feedback, questions. And I'm going to invite Joan Michaels from ACC as well to join us. Just questions related. I did have some questions related to requirements for the TVT registry and public reporting. I'm over the public reporting for the TVT registry. Joan is more involved with the requirements in order to receive composite rating. So we'll be, all three of us will be available to answer questions on that. TAVR Gone Bad with Dr. Arman Argami. That's another interesting one. And then AVR with annular enlargement, that was Dr. Bowdish. Aorta arch and debranching, that's Dr. Kim, Karen Kim, and Nancy Honeycutt. Left heart versus full bypass, cabbage anastomoses, and then twisting through the perplexity of mazes. So these are the 7 presentations that we're hoping to include. It's kind of a preliminary or tentative agenda. More information will be coming out on that, but these were the ones that had the most interest from the attendees. So we'll hopefully be able to focus on these 7. And now I'm going to hand it over quickly to Joe Brower for the IQVIA update. Joe.
Thank you, Carol. Just a couple items from us today. The first one here is in regard to your risk-adjusted report, specifically under the risk-adjusted and regional reports for the all complications not adjusted results. There was an issue identified with the results for that non-adjusted complications section, with again specific to the risk-adjusted and regional reports. Those calculations will be re-executed and deployed to production with the next release. And once that release goes live, you will get a notification in the notification section to let you know. Melanie, did you want to pause here to?
Yeah, I have a screenshot just to make sure everyone is aware of what we are indicating here. So when you're in on the homepage on the risk-adjusted report, underneath the risk-adjusted and regional outcomes, the specific areas that we're referring to are these sections starting from isolated aortic valve replacement through isolated mitral valve repair plus cabbage. And then the specific section is the complications not adjusted. So we will be doing an update and re-executing those calculations so that they are updated. They are showing higher than expected currently. And so we will be correcting that. We will post an update of when that is targeted. We do have a scheduled release that's upcoming. So we just needed to confirm that, and we will place another update in the notifications to let you all know when we will have it in production. Okay, so I will stop sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I'll go back to sharing my screen. And Joe?
All right, we did have one more item. STS 8944. This is specific to when you export or print the report, again, with the risk adjusted dashboard. There are a few sections, 5 pages that have been reported and identified where the results are being pushed onto a second page, which is not what we wanted. So that will be corrected with the next release as well. The on-screen, what you see on the website is still correct. It's just when you export and get that PDF. And I think that's all I had.
And that's it. All right, Melinda, before we go over to you, I'm going to just go through these questions real quick, if that's okay.
That sounds great.
So we can keep it clean for your section, for your session. All right, first, a couple questions here. I'll try to get through them quickly. For the 2% missing, less than 2% missing threshold for unknown missingness, readmission, and 30-day mortality. It is not readmission, but 30-day mortality. Is this by calendar year or rolling year? It's by rolling 12 months. So 3 rolling 12-month periods. If we're looking at harvest 3 of 2022, that includes July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020, July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, and July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Each of those 12-month periods, you have to have less than the 2% missingness. More information is in the training or in the national report overview posted on the IQVIA platform in the resource library on that. Which vendor was having an issue? Were customers notified? If you have submitted your harvest data, is any additional action needed on the part of the data manager? Uh-oh, what happened to my question?
Sorry, that was me.
Stop it, Leanne Jones.
Sorry about that. I was trying to
slap
get rid of
your
the
hand.
first question. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So there, the vendor that had the issue did notify its customers. If you've already submitted and cleaned up your data, you do not need to do anything further if you're happy with where your data was at before that. What is the cost of AQO? So the virtual AQO is here. Most folks are non-members. If you're an STS member, which means you're an STS associate member, you belong to the society, which is different than being a database member. The cost would be $300. Most data managers and those that attend AQO are non-members. That cost is $400. It does come with, I think it's a 16.5 CE credit, continuing education credits. I'll show you where that information is at on the website. Okay, how and when can we view the virtual AQO? That the live content that was recorded is expected to be up the end of this week or early next week. It will be on the platform where you joined AQO. If you're just part of the virtual AQO, you have access to that platform. If you're having any questions or problems with it, you're going to want to reach out to our meetings team to help you with access. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick here for you. Under STS, this is the STS.org page under meetings, past courses, the 2022 Advances and Outcomes of Data Managers meeting. This is where you can log in to view e-posters and on-demand content. So these are your, this is where you log in for both virtual and those who joined us live. That's where you'll see the e-posters, the pre-recorded content, and then the recordings of the live content will be posted here as well. Like I said, hopefully by the end of the week or early next week. If you have any questions, contact for registration, contact the meetings department. Click this link, it's their email. Any program or continuing education questions, contact Emily Conrad. Why are the 2023 harvest dates a week earlier than the 2022 dates? Is it already tight to collect the 30-day status? We went, they're actually the same amount of weeks, because I don't think they're any, it's the same amount of weeks from the previous one, I think, when I did it. But it should be fine. I think if we are all working to get your data in real time, like we are trying to get everybody to do, those dates should work out. we had to go around holiday schedules and national holidays as well. So we take all that into account. We look at when all of the other when the other two databases are closing their harvest to try not to veer into that lane. So, but hopefully it'll be all right. I'm a little late. Can you please tell again about the harvest for submission date? Is it for period 7/1/22 to 9/30/22? Harvest for submission includes OR dates through September 30th, 2022. The analytic period is from July 1st, 2019 through, I'm sorry, October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2022. The last submission was Harvest 3 that included dates through June 30th of 2022. If you made a submission for Harvest 3, you did not make any changes to the data that was included in that submission. You did not make any changes to cases with OR dates June 30th, 2022 and before, then you only needed to upload data from July 1st, 2022 to September 30th, 2022. I'm not sure when that topics webinar will be. We're looking at the week of January 9th. Hopefully it will be on January 9th. I'm still waiting to coordinate that with the surgeons and data manager presenters. Can you show the screenshot for what IQVIA is going to, am I going the right way? Nope.
Remember, I have it on mine.
Oh,
Do you want the screenshot of the report or?
sure. Yeah, you can share that and I'll just keep answering questions. Hold on.
Okay, I'll share. One
I
second.
can't find how to stop sharing, so I don't know what happened to my, oh, I found it, sorry. Okay. Our programs required to have at least 2% for all 4 harvest periods or just star rating harvest periods. Yeah, Kim, I saw your email come through and I, with the same question. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, so I was going to email you back. Our programs require to be less than 2% for all 4 harvest periods. I'm not sure what you mean by all 4 harvest periods. Or just the star rating periods. So the I get it now. So the 2% is required for all 4 harvest periods if you want to be included in analytics. Otherwise, you won't receive risk adjusted results back for any of the harvest periods. The important things with harvest 1 and 3 is that includes not receiving back star ratings. For harvest for the 3-year cabbage composite, our programs require to be less than 2%. Oh, I think I just answered. It's the same answer for the 3-year cabbage composite. You have to have the 2% for each 12 month within that 3-year window. And it is for all of the harvests, not just the star rating harvest. Do you have information regarding the multi-factor authentic? I cannot say that word on the database platform. I'm not sure that I have information. It's just you get an email. Did you already share your screen, Melanie?
I shared already with the report if you want to bring back up your screen. And I don't know, they may need to contact STSDB at sts.org. So
Yeah.
in regards to the multi-factor.
Yep.
There was an email that was sent out on yesterday, and that has a link to the overview that describes the multi-factor authentication process in detail. And then if, like Mel said, if you had any questions, contact the database team.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
So if I pay for AQO if I pay now for this AQO, I will get access to the AQO that happened and now and what is coming in January. Yes, that's correct. So you'll get access if you purchase AQO now, you'll get access to the pre-recorded content, which we're calling on-demand content, access to the recordings of the live presentations, which they're not yet posted. They will be posted hopefully by the end of the week, if not early next week. And you'll get access to the webinar that we'll have in January. The 2% mortality threshold is for isolated cabbage only. Is that accurate? The 2% mortality threshold is for all of the composite, all of the risk adjusted endpoints, risk adjusted composites. So it's for cabbage, AVR cabbage, mitral valve repair replace, mitral valve repair replaced less cabbage. More information is in the national report overview on that, so please read it so you can make sure that you get that correct, so you don't miss out on getting star rating or included into analysis. How do we get CEUs? The CEU information is here's our accreditation, nursing contacts hours. So for adult cardiac, actually it's 8.3 hours. On-demand general session is 1.6 hours. Sorry, I don't know where I got 16 from. But if you, the virtual attendees, you have access to everything. So you're not just limited to adult cardiac surgery. You could get up to a total of 29.99 nursing contact hours if you watch everything. So it's a pretty good deal if you think about it. And for perfusion, it's 36, a maximum of 36.3 CEUs. To claim accreditation, I think it's within the platform. So if you log in here, and Melinda, I'm just going to take a few more sessions. So I just logged into the platform. I think if I just go under accreditation, it takes me here, and then I got to figure it out. Anybody know? I haven't done mine yet. Oh, here it is. In order to receive a certificate, you must complete an online evaluation. So this is where you do it. It's under the accreditation tab, this link here. In order to get the in order to complete the evaluation, you have to watch all of the sessions. So you'll need to watch for virtual attendees, you'll need to watch all of the on-demand sessions and all of the live recordings. For the live attendees, you've already attended the live sessions, so you'll need to watch all the recordings. And that's specific for whichever track you're trying to get credit for. So for adult cardiac, just focus on adult cardiac and the general sessions. No, I have not heard any issues with anybody having problems with sts.org. Anybody let us know if you are.
I actually had an issue a couple of days ago, but I just, let it ride for a couple hours and I was able to get into it.
You were? I haven't had any issues with it. I've been in every day from home and from work. Might have had a little glitch or something. If you reach out to I don't know if you're at home or what, if you want to send me an email, I can put you in contact with our IT department. Leanne, are you removing my questions?
No, ma'am, I haven't touched anything. Not lately.
Okay. Melissa Williams is asking if any other centers have a pre-op testing protocol or algorithm they would be willing to share, something that explains in what scenarios the patient should get carotid ultrasounds or PFTs, etc. If so, her email is there. And I think everybody, if we answer this live, can folks still see the questions over in the answered bin? I think. Oh, it's supposed to be on all questions. Sorry. Hopefully everybody can see them. Hi, for CEUs, I did the evals on the demand content. I viewed, will I be able to get additional CEUs for the live content when posted? No, you need to watch all of the content. You'll have to reach out to Core Excel, and I think they'll have to reset that for you so you can review everything at one time. I don't think you can't do it separately. You have to do everything at one time. The past year, yeah, I saw that lead. The past year, the deadline was February 25th. So what happened with January is that we have a deadline for one of our reports, and it's due, I think, the middle of March. So we had to move, and I tried to only move it up to the 14th, but we had to move, or I tried to move it up just by a week to the 18th, I think it is. But that was not enough. So I had to move it up to the 10th for January. It is very tight for follow-ups for that Harvest 1. So I strongly encourage, we can't, and we will not be able to adjust that date. So if anything happens, like it did with Harvest 4, where there was an issue at one of the vendors and we wanted to make sure sites were able to get in their clean data, we will not be able to offer an extension for Harvest 1, which is a star rating period. So please do your best to work on getting your cases in real time, and what I mean by real time is as your patients are coming in the door having surgery, start filling out their forms, getting those entered in, and then by the time they go home, you should have all of your post-op complications information filled out, except for those that are dependent on 30 days post-surgery, like the deep sternal wound infections and readmission. And then you just have to check on those patients 30 days post discharge and post-surgery. So I strongly encourage that for issues like this, and when we always have a tight deadline for Harvest 1. This year it's very tight. So hopefully folks will be able to work with that. I know it's difficult to do that. Okay, so if a patient has surgery on 9/30/2022 but discharged 10/4, they should be included in Harvest 4 data submission because of the OR date. Yes, that's right. Harvest analysis is based on the operation of the date of surgery. So that patient 9/30/2022, that patient is in part of Harvest 4 data. Are 3-year rolling benchmarks available? Yes, I think so. Oh no, we just report the benchmark out. I have to go and look on that one. I'm not going to answer yet. And the period is 10/1/2019 to 9/30/2022. Yes, that's right. The Harvest dates being on the 10th will be, yeah, I know, Beth, it's going to be super tight. Yeah, that's going to be hard. Hopefully the end of year at sites is not as busy that last week, so you don't have many cases to abstract. I know that that's a tight date, so let's see how hopefully everybody can keep up with abstraction. I know it's tight with the holidays and things like that too. Can you discuss the plan for the aorta risk models and star ratings? Actually, this was one of the presentations from AQO. So if you have joined AQO, that will be posted as one of the live recordings from Nimesh Desai. What I can say is that they are working on the risk model. It's not yet available. They're waiting for, they're still working with the Analytics Center and pushing that and getting that ready to be released. What is the best way to run a surgeon-specific report? The surgeon-specific, Melinda, I think I need to hand it over to you. I'm just going to take, I'll take this 2 more questions and then I'll hand it over to you.
Okay.
What is the best way to run a surgeon-specific report? So there is a surgeon-specific report which the surgeon needs to consent to. So if the surgeon's interested in that, they can reach out to stsdb@sts.org for that consent. The surgeon-specific report is a surgeon composite, and it's only released to the surgeon who consents to it. We don't have any other way of running data within STS to sort by NPI or anything like that. So, and then one more question. Harvest, I'll take this one from David. Another question, why is it called Harvest 4? It's for Q3 2022. So it's actually the 4th harvest in 2022. The first harvest contains the data through year end of the previous year. Harvest 2 is the first quarter. Harvest 3 is the second quarter. Harvest 4 is data through the third quarter. So it's actually the harvest that occurred during the year. It is the 4th harvest of 2022. And no reason for, I would have to go back when we picked the dates for the harvest close. We look at a bunch of things when other things are closing, when STS has deliverables, when holidays are, when national holidays are. So we take all those things into account and pick the dates, usually somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks following the last OR date within the analytic period. Okay, I'm going to have to hand it over to you, Melinda, so we can keep it on time.
All right. We just need to go to that slide, I guess. We're going to talk about ECMO today. When it's mainly just questions, so we've got polling, and hopefully when we go through these questions, you guys will have a better understanding. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because at AQO there were quite a few questions about just ECMO in general that came out of one of the sessions, so I thought we would review this. So question number 1, is ECMO in the risk model? Yes, no, or unsure? I can't see the poll. I mean,
I know, there you go.
There you go. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Just got about a pretty good split going on here.
Yeah, I think we've got
We
quite a
can-
few answers. Ready to stop it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay. So this is pretty split. Yes, 41, no, 40, 20% unsure. Let's see what the answer is. Carol, can you? Yeah, there we go. So the answer is no. ECMO is not in the risk model. So the risk involved with ECMO is captured by coding as below. So we have specific language in the training manual. So if your patient is on pre-op ECMO, they're going to the OR on ECMO, then you're going to capture sequence 1975, which is status as salvage. And you're also going to say that the patient is being resuscitated in sequence 935. Okay, so this coding like this captures that risk of the patient on ECMO because ECMO is not in the risk model. So that was a good question, I think.
Yeah, I say so.
All right, now let's see what number 2 is. So number 2, does intra-op ECMO placement affect case isolation when performed in conjunction with the cabbage? So does ECMO affect case isolation? All right, so looks like the majority of the people are saying no. And we've got quite a few people answered the question so far. All right, so 75% of the people said that ECMO did not affect case isolation, and the correct answer to that is no, it does not affect case isolation. Next slide, Carol. So for what we've learned so far is it's not in the risk model. It doesn't affect case isolation. So those are the 2 points we're going to take away from the first 2 questions. Now we're going to go and dive a little deeper into ECMO. We've got question number 3. Patient on ECMO for 6 days pre-op. And then the patient is weaned off 2 days before the patient goes to surgery for the cabbage. Is this captured as pre-op ECMO? Yes, no, or unsure? All right, so the no's are leading, 68% people who have responded.
Come in.
All right, it's like pretty good. I guess we'll go ahead and end it. We've got 70% of, excuse me. We got
Hold on
70,
1 second, Melinda. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hold on. Go. You can go ahead. I have to go on mute for a second.
can you change the slide for me? So 78% of the people said that this patient was not pre-op ECMO. So let's talk about why this patient is not pre-op ECMO, because the answer is no. So pre-op refers to the placement in the cath lab or the ICU prior to the patient entering the operating room for the index surgical procedure. This applies to ECMO in at the time of surgery, not previously placed and removed devices. So if you look at this particular scenario, this patient was on ECMO for 6 days pre-op. Then it was weaned off 2 days before the patient went to surgery. So this patient is not going to surgery with ECMO in place. So this is not captured as pre-op ECMO. Okay, I don't know if Carol's back or not. Oh, yeah,
I'm
she is.
back. I'm here.
She's back.
Yep, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So question number 4. Patient on ECMO for 6 days pre-op, then weaned off 2 days before the patient goes to surgery for CABG. How do we capture ECMO timing? So we know it's not pre-op because we already answered that question, but is it intra-op, post-op, or non-operative? Oh, people are doing good with this one. Okay, so looks like over 90% of the people say this is non-operative ECMO. And the answer is this is non-operative ECMO. Okay, because when you look at the definition of ECMO, it says to indicate if ECMO was used any time during the acute care period. So for this particular scenario, the patient did have ECMO, but he didn't have it pre-op because he didn't go to the OR on ECMO. He didn't have it intra-op and he didn't have it post-op. So the logical choice is this was non-operative ECMO. So this was ECMO that was done, and it really had nothing, it really was not related to the operative procedure. So that's how this would be captured for this patient that had it on for 6 days, then got it discontinued for 2 days, and then went to surgery. All right, next question.
It's a lot of clicking over here. Sorry.
I know.
And then things don't always, things aren't always clicking when I'm clicking. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Question number 5. Patient on ECMO at time of surgery. Okay, so he's on ECMO at the time of surgery. Post-op day 2, he's weaned off of ECMO. But then on post-op day 5, oops, something happens. They put him back on ECMO. I can only choose one selection for ECMO when. Do I code pre-op or post-op ECMO? Or I'm not really sure. Which one will I code for this particular timing of this ECMO? All right, well, pre-op's taking the lead at 84% of people saying that that's the correct answer. And the answer is pre-op. Now, so let's talk about why that's the answer. So first of all, in the training manual, it tells you if you've got both pre-op and post-op, code to pre-op. And the reason we tell you that is because, remember, we talked about in like the first slide, if the patient is going to the OR on ECMO, then we're going to be able to capture the status as salvage and resuscitation in sequence 935, because this is capturing how sick that patient is. Because remember, ECMO is not in the risk model, but this is how we make up for it not being in the risk model, by capturing salvage status and resuscitation. So if you've got a choice whether to code pre-op or post-op ECMO on the same patient, you definitely want to choose the pre-op ECMO. All right. Next question. VV ECMO was placed 11-1. VA ECMO was placed 11-3. To OR on 11-5 on ECMO. Which mode of ECMO do I code? VV, VA, or I'm just not really sure about this one. VA's taking the lead at 86%, 87 to 88. All right.
A nice size webinar today, Melinda.
Yeah,
We got 368 folks on there, plus us
very
6.
good.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, so we can stop this. I think we're VA 87%, and the answer is VA. So again, if the patient is placed on 2 different modes of ECMO pre-op, which this patient was, we're going to capture the mode of ECMO the patient is on when they're entering the OR. That's a per surgeon leadership direction. They want to know what kind of ECMO. There's a choice for 2 different choices pre-op. Which one did they enter the OR on? Okay. Question number 7. Post-op patient is placed on VA ECMO initially and then is transitioned to VV ECMO. What mode do I code? Do I code VV or VA? Or I'm not really sure what to code. So VA is taking the lead, 60, almost 70%. I just love polling.
I know. Okay.
Okay, so VA takes the cake at 72%, and the answer is VA. And again, if you've got, it's kind of a rule, this is just a little rule in the training manual, if you've got several different ECMO modes during the same time period, so intra-op, the intra-op, post-op, non-operative, that pre-op shouldn't be there, forget that. Code the highest mode of ECMO. So yeah, it really shouldn't be there because pre-op we want to know the mode that the patient's entering the OR on. So that was my mistake, a typo.
That's all right. We just do like this.
Yeah, that's my typo.
Get rid of that one.
Mhm.
Boop.
Yeah. So
There
so
you go.
if you have different modes of intra-op, post-op, and non-operative, then you capture the highest mode during that particular time period. Because you can, right now with the way the data collection form's set up, you can only select one mode. Maybe we'll fix that and upgrade where we can select all modes. Who knows? All right. Number 8. When a patient goes to the OR on ECMO, how do we code resuscitation sequence 935? Do we say yes within 1 hour to start the procedure, or more than 1 hour, but less than 24 hours to start a procedure? Or I just don't know. Not sure about this one. Within 1 hour is taking the lead.
They're good questions, Melinda.
Yeah, well, I don't make these up. People ask me these questions all the time, and they have good questions. All the data managers have good questions.
Yeah, I know they do. Sometimes real tricky ones.
Sometimes the questions are too good. It really stresses my brain.
There you go.
All right, so yes, within 1 hour, 79% of the people said that, and the answer is yes, within 1 hour of the procedure, because this patient remembers on ECMO, going in on ECMO, so we're going to capture it as being resuscitated within 1 hour of the start of procedure. Okay, I think I only got a couple more questions. Question number 9. On post-op day 1, the patient arrests and the surgeon opens the chest in the ICU, then places VA ECMO. How is this coded? So do we just code this as ECMO in sequence 3766, or do we code this as a re-op as a cardiac, or do we code this as ECMO and a re-op cardiac? Or I just don't know. I'm not sure. This one's a little more split. Answer C is taking the lead, but barely.
Hmm.
Yeah. This was a good question to go over.
And this is one of the questions in the FAQ or in the Q&A right now, so I'm going to remove it, I think.
Good. Okay.
KKO 9879.
So, yeah,
Okay.
so I guess we can stop this. We've got, so coding both, answer C took the lead, but barely. So let's talk about that. So, so first of all, this patient's chest was open in the ICU, but per the training manual, it doesn't matter where they place the ECMO. They open the chest, they put the ECMO in, they go to the OR to put the ECMO. It doesn't matter where the location is, because you're going to capture the initiation of post-op ECMO both in the ECMO sequences, which is 3766 through 3780, and you're also going to capture this as a re-op other cardiac in sequence 6778 for any ECMO, regardless of where that ECMO placement is performed. So this will be captured in both places.
Last one.
All right, last question. How do you code VA ECMO used for a thoracoabdominal repair instead
Ooh.
of CPB? VA
This is-
ECMO was initiated and discontinued in the OR.
This is a good one. It's in the training manual.
It is. Do we capture this as full CPB? Capture as ECMO? Capture as full CPB and ECMO, or unsure?
Oh boy.
I know.
At least people are being honest. If you don't know, you don't know. Don't guess.
And we don't know how you're answering. We don't know who's pushing these buttons. Feel free. Answer the questions.
Yeah. This helps us so we know what Melinda needs to teach you. Do you like how I did that, Melinda?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it when you guys tell me what I need to teach you instead of me just trying to figure out what I need to teach you. I love it. Okay, well, definitely unsure is taking the cake here at 40%, and the rest is all kind of divided evenly out about 20%. So the answer is we're going to capture this as full PBs. Full CPB in sequence 2325. So when you look at this question, this ECMO was only used for the procedure. It was initiated in the OR. It was discontinued in the OR. They used it instead of putting the patient on bypass. So per discussions with surgeon leadership, and we did update this in the training manual, this would be captured as full CPB in this particular situation. And do not code it as ECMO, because the intent was not really an ECMO intent where you think somebody's really sick and they need to be on ECMO. The intent all along was to use this VA ECMO as the CPB in this particular situation.
Thank you, Melinda. That's the last question. Now we have some for you.
Okay.
ECMO when? Oh, let's pull this up. Well, I think ECMO when is listed as a variable in the mortality risk models for cabbage valve and valve plus cabbage on the risk model variable chart. Is this incorrect?
Is it?
Uh-huh. I think so. Let's pull it up. I think I may have missed that.
When did they do that?
If it's there, it's been there. I think what you're, hold on, let's see. IBP 1, cath base 1, and ECMO 1.
That's weird.
That's all right. Well, there it is.
So if there it is, why do we, that's my question. Why do we instruct that? I have to look at the training manual, because the training manual, when did I look at the training manual?
I think it's the VADs we're talking about. We can clarify on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I won't post the slide yet. We can clarify on it.
Yeah, because it specifically says that it's captured by doing this. So that will be interesting. Huh.
Yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to clarify and figure out why it says that.
I know.
For question 5, the post-op ECMO is coded as is the post-op ECMO coded as a re-op?
Number 5.
On post-op day 5, the ECMO was placed.
Well, yeah, it would be. I mean, because they ECMO, they had ECMO, then they were off ECMO, then they had ECMO placed again. So it would be a re-op. Yep. It's kind of an unrelated question. I could have asked that question too, but it would be.
I think, don't you have it down below too, though? Something like that?
Well, we have another question that talks about ECMO being placed post-op, being coded as a
Yeah.
re-op.
Yeah.
Other cardiac.
Is a patient who goes to the OR from the cath lab on a temporary assist device also entered as an emergent salvage and resuscitation?
No. See, it's just specific language to ECMO, which is why I'm confused now about that risk model thing. Because, yeah, we need to figure that out.
Yeah, let's go. We'll go back. We can go back through and look at it and
Yeah.
see what it is. And we could clarify it on the next webinar. If patient has ECMO pre-op, do we include it in the previous CV interventions in section E?
I
don't think so. I think
I
that
don't
one's
think so.
excluded. But
It's in the
let's,
training manual.
yeah, it is. I remember.
I think because it's already captured in its own field. It's 805 maybe. Wait a minute, go back. I saw it in sequence 805 up there.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. But this is a previous CV intervention. I'm gonna have to look at that question. Where's that question?
It's the third one that's in
If
the
the
open
patient has
text.
ECMO pre-op, do we include it? Suppose you can. Although you would also capture it in the pre-op section on ECMO too.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Okay. Oopsie. So any ECMO post-op is also a re-op for cardiac.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you, Melinda. This is so very helpful. From Helena. Clarification. If on ECMO for several days before surgery, do we still put resuscitation within 1 hour before surgery?
If the patient goes to surgery on ECMO, yes, you'd still put within 1 hour. Because the ECMO in effect is resuscitating the patient. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay. Would a bovine okay. Would a bovine patch repair to the aorta during a CABG in order to sew the bypass graft be coded as other or not coded?
Maureen, I'd have to read that whole note, but just off the top of my head, I said no, that's probably just part of the procedure to close that aorta.
Mm-hmm. Great questions. My institution does not have ECMO at this time, but may in the future. Could these slides with the answers for ECMO be posted online for reference?
Yeah, when we
Yeah.
when we figure out this risk model stuff.
We'll clarify it, that slide, but the slides are always posted with the webinars on the STS National Database page under View Webinars. We post all of the slides under past ACSD webinars in PDF format. And then this is the link to the recordings. So they're there, Jean. It would only be a re-op if the chest was open to place the ECMO, correct?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think it's any. If the surgeons were very adamant about that. And
where am I going to look for that in
look
the?
for 6778. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Or 6779.
Yeah, it's
I
one
think
of
it's
those
6778. There it is.
It's real close.
Here.
Yeah. See that capture the initiation of post-op ECMO, in the ECMO sequences and in the re-op, regardless of where the placement is performed. They were pretty adamant about that.
Yeah, it's any placement.
Mhm.
What about the patient who had it and was discontinued before surgery? That was your first question, right? Or your second question? Second question. No,
Mm-mm.
this one. Question number 3.
I was talking about pre-op ECMO, yeah. So
Yeah,
this,
so this says, what about the patient who had it and it was discontinued before surgery?
right. It was discontinued before surgery, so it's not pre-op, it's non-operative, coded as non-operative timing for that. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, that's what she's asking. Lori says, thank you. Jennifer, sorry that I'm running late. Is Harvest 4 deadline extended to December 4th?
December 2nd.
Yeah, right here on the screen, on every slide, this yellow box. Harvest 4 extended to December 2nd. Opt-out will be October. Opt-out will be December 6th. Barb Sanders, wouldn't it depend on the mode of ECMO used to determine if it's a re-op since it's a single catheter? No, any ECMO.
Yeah, we can revisit that with the surgeons, but I remember they were fairly adamant about that.
Yeah. Related to the bovine patch, clarification would be great. The information within the training manual related to aortic patch is only about endocarditis and valve.
Yeah,
Melinda
there's a
Wilbur.
lot of patches that are done, guys, for procedures. Some are done to close aortas, some are done to fix abscesses, some are done to do annular reconstruction. And I read notes all the time about patches done. And so it really has to depend on what the patch was used for, how the patch was used. If you have any questions, just send me the note and I'll help you with that.
Okay, and I'm going to do 2 last questions here. Erica, I'm going to do your 3-year rolling benchmark in just 1 second. Let me get logged in. And this is what the I don't know if everybody has this yet, but this is the multi-factor authentication. I can never say that word code. This is what happens. It sends you an email with a code. So let me pull that up real quick so I can get logged in. And it just goes right into the email that we have on file for you, and you put it into the box. For some reason, mine does it every time. Must be the way our IT has it set up. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to do that. And Leanne, are you still on? Does yours do that every time?
Sorry, no, I hadn't had issues. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'll have to ask Kevin why it's doing that.
Yep, that's weird.
And then if anybody has, Caddy is asking, which that would be interested in learning about what measures other programs are utilizing for post-op AFib prevention. Jennifer, I don't know about that. I think it just automatically goes to your email for the authentication code. If anybody has information regarding post-op AFib prevention for their sites, Caddy, if you want to send us put your email in the question box, we can share that with everybody. All right, and then the last question we have from Erica is, are 3-year rolling benchmarks available? It seems these are used for composite scores, but all the benchmarks in the Harvest summary appear to be for year 2022 only. So what I wanted to see is in the reports, in the risk adjusted data. When you talk about benchmarks, we're talking about STS benchmarks. We have like group benchmarks and region benchmarks. We have them based on year, on the calendar year for the risk adjusted outcomes. But what's in the quality ratings? Let's see if this is going to be helpful to you. Well, then this just needs to load real fast. Melinda, do you want to take Ramel's question while this screen is
Oh, yeah.
pulling up? Okay.
Our facility documents the use of intra-op ECMO for support only, not a substitute for bypass. If ECMO was used as bypass on other cases besides the thoracoabdominal surgery, how will we code it? Well, it's the same concept. If you have another case where you don't use bypass, but you use ECMO, VA ECMO instead of bypass, then you would code the ECMO as bypass. I hope that answers your question, Ramel.
Okay, and then the question regarding, thank you, Melinda. This is the question from Erica about the benchmarks. So in the composite scores, this is in the rating page, you have your STS benchmark score here. So you have your participant score, you have your STS benchmark score. This is for the 3-year period that's included in the cabbage rating. So this would be your STS benchmark, the 96.79. You have your min max, so you can see the lowest, the highest, 10th, 50th, and 90th percentiles. If I were to benchmark it, I would probably use the STS score for the 3 years. But honestly, when we're doing quality improvement projects, shorter timeframes are often better to assess and gauge how well you're accomplishing quality improvement. So I would probably use the 12-month period, even get as far down into the longitudinal report, and to look at smaller timeframes for benchmarks on some of the outcomes. No, there's only a yearly like group benchmark. What about the benchmarks within the body of the report? Is the STS value the full 3 years? No, it's for the current year. So hold on one second. And we'll have to go over this next time because we're at the end of time, but let me see if this will pull up. So for complications, there are no 3-year benchmarks. So let me show you, hold on one second. So if you're looking at the cabbage one, we'll see what we have here. You definitely have it on the various 12-month periods. Benchmarks are decided. There are like groups that are included in the risk adjusted and regional outcomes. This is for Campbell's question. There are like groups, and the definition of like groups are included within your national report overview posted on the IQVIA platform. So you have this is the 3 years in absence of morbidity. And then I don't think we have STS here. That's your 3 years. Isolated cabbage. You have your site for 2020, 2021, partial 2022, your like group for 2022, your region for 2022, and the STS for 2022. So these are all based on 2022 data. Okay. All right, we're going to end there.